Thank you so much again for your patience. This is part 3 of the conversation that Teacup, Oracle of Delta, and myself are having about reviewing the events that we're looking at in October of 2023. So we'll go. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Teacup.
Okay, so as we were on break, Oracle and I were commenting to each other. She had made a comment to me. She said, I said that I feel like I just am not, I'm not getting any like an answer necessarily. And then I prefaced it with, well, maybe all these answers that I've ever gotten are never really been answers anyway. And she said, yeah. And then she said, and
hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Hey, come back in a minute.
Okay.
A few minutes.
Okay.
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 Hey, can you come back in a few minutes? Okay.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, so she used a word called guru-tini with me. She said people they're too guru-tini. And I said, exactly, because I just feel like they're
We'll actually call it guru douchey.
A guru douchey. Hey, how did I get guru-tini? Anyway, okay, so guru douchey. It's guru douchey. And she said, if you think the spiritual
New age,
the new age concept out there is not as say it, Oracle. You said it's not, you think the money is co-opted, or like,
correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So a good perspective to have is as distorted and co-opted as the monetary system is, so is the new age movement.
And I believe that. And I think what happens to me is I tried to blend that kind of concept and the reality that we're living in concept, and I'm coming up empty. I will, that is the truth, because I look at all of these things that are coming into my view, like lab meat, like the new another new vaccine, another new emergency alert, even though we've all actually been waiting for it. I mean, it's literally, I look at it and it's guru douchey. I don't know. I don't know. And I think what I'm not searching, because I don't search, but I'm co-opted.
Well,
Say that's true. I would say that you're in that blended, like many of us, you're in that blended time where you're seeing. Go ahead, Oracle.
Yeah. Oracle, did you? She said go. T said go ahead.
No, please. I'm listening.
Oh, because I feel like I'm not. I mean, I just so desperately don't want all of this to go on. I know we have to go through this trial of us, of this collective right here today, that we have to go, the collective
awakening, in which you're not co-opted, you're just in the initial stages.
Yeah.
The dark night of the soul is a concept that it initiated. The choice of words in that specific phrase was something that Carl Jung put out there when he first started doing multifaceted psychology. So basically, before one gets to a point where they can see truth, they first must have a death of sorts within themselves.
Yes.
Where everything they thought is not real, and they have to just come to terms with it, and it's a hard path.
Well, and I've already, I think past all of that, I don't know. I don't know. It's not about me.
No, no, so it's actually, no, but it is though, because it is about you, it's about me, it's about all of us, each one of us individually. So if anything, what's happening is, by thinking that you are through the initial stages, shows that you know that you're not. That shows me that you're not.
Okay.
Because anytime someone thinks that they're perfect and they've made it,
Oh,
it
no.
means that no, I'm sorry, I'm not saying you're perfect.
No,
I mean,
no,
like,
no.
like if someone says, "Oh man, I know everything I need to know. I don't need to know anything else." Well,
Yeah.
they're clearly they're in bad state.
Yeah.
There's always more.
Right. I mean, but I guess what I want to say is it's these events that I get to view now in my reality, and I just look, I shake my head, and I look at this, and I just don't see. I don't see any. I truly see
relate.
evil. I can't relate.
Yes.
I
Okay,
just
so,
truly can't relate with this stuff.
I know, and that's
Well,
that's,
you-
I mean, that's good.
Yeah,
But
Teresa, T was just putting her hand up.
oh, good.
No, I was gonna say, forgot what I was gonna say. Everyone is on, like Oracle said, it's collective stages. It's stages that we all have to go through. And there's not just one series of stages.
Right.
Once you get into your other stages, then you have more and more. And that's the beauty of it. It's not a burden. It's
Yeah.
it's a very good thing, because it
Of
really
course.
never ends. Our soul
quest.
never ends.
Right.
And you do have to go through a sort of death. It's like, well, I thought I knew everything. I thought I had it all figured out. I thought I knew everything. And about 5 years ago, I finally said, I know I don't know anything. But
Yeah.
that's what and death is hard, death of your thoughts, of your positions is difficult, but that's the beauty of it, because from that then growth comes.
Mhm.
It's a death of preconceptions and expectations. And we learn to have standards and not expectations.
Ah, yeah.
Um,
And the agreed upon standards are going away. You can see that every single day. You can see that changing every single day.
Yeah.
And that's what we're getting used to. It's not only just the our perception of the agreed upon standards, and it's not just the what was that word? The word sorry. Oh, where you have to make your own judgments. Discernment. So it's not just the standards, it's not just discernment. It's also many steps. And we all think we've all been taught by the guru douches.
It's
I think I
awesome.
understand the word, but we've been taught that it's only one way. And see, that is the misconception. That's where I think the new age has been co-opted in a certain way, number one. And we've been repeatedly told nothing is, you have to really discern. And that is exactly, if you stand back and you look at it, that's what we have been learning for the past however many years, is, like Oracle said, discernment. And that it's not set in stone. Nothing is set in stone, like we have been taught.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
If anything, I would say that the step that you're in, it's okay. So a good way to look at it is look at the development of how we develop from like childhood to adulthood, right? One of the moments of individualization, when you become an individual, no longer part of a collective, like prepubescent, post-teenager, when you start becoming an individual, what happens is you stop comparing yourself to others, and you stop comparing reality to your reality. Start seeing that you are your own reality. Well, that's just one of the steps. It's just like, it's really good educational advice. I would say just research what the human mind, the human consciousness already does naturally as it ages and as it grows.
Yeah. Yeah. So we learn that naturally.
You're right.
It's already just how it
Good.
works naturally. That's the other beautiful thing. As chaotic as they try to make everything, there really is a standard of natural order that is true and does exist.
And when okay.
Does that make sense? Is that too much?
We need to do a conversation about true natural order too sometime.
Through natural order, we do. We
Yeah.
do.
The
We
natural order of
absolutely-
things.
Mhm. Yeah, and we need to start breaking it down because this is it is getting and going. Probably the fastest it's ever been is for me right now. And I like the fast pace of this. Because I've been very tired of the slow, this crawl, this turtle walk, because I just want, I like this fast pace. But I also look around. Actually, I don't look around. Because I don't. I mean, I look at my family. I mean, I look at my children and my husband and that kind of stuff. And the reality
You're in a
of
big
that.
city. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
You're in a big city, so you have the opportunity to look at a lot of people or see them. Not
Yes.
that you're looking at them, you're just seeing kind of the trends or how they're acting or not acting or
Totally. Great way to gauge where you are.
yeah. See,
And-
that's unique. I mean, not unique, but for me, I'm rural. Oracle's rural. Here's what I was also going to say
Oracle
is
rule, yeah.
we have been conditioned to expect certain things, like ClifHigh saying there's going to, or the remote viewer is saying there's going to be a boom. It's going to crash a building. You know, some buildings are going to be affected. We have been given those. We're conditioned to believe those things and to expect them when they're indicating it's expected to happen. You know, so we want,
right.
we like things to move fast. I mean, you, Teacup, you like things to move fast. You think it's finally moving fast enough.
Mhm.
But then people start saying, well, when is this going to happen? When is this going to happen? When is this going to happen?
Yeah.
Well, what if the transmission I had the other day, what if it's just a collective reaction by humans? It's a boom, but it's not a boom.
Their own reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're conditioned to listen to that new age group, and they always call themselves our group.
Right.
And so
tribe.
we're conditioned to believe that until you know, I mean, and other voices aren't heard because it has been co-opted, because it has to be controlled by whoever controls. But the thought has to be controlled by the controllers until you step out of it, until you see the trifurcation, you know, until you're not in the descending, but you're in maybe the blended. I think that's wonderful. I mean, amazing. Sorry.
I guess no, but I guess this means for me that they finally get called out. I'm ready. I'm ready for the call out. I'm ready for the sphere to say, yeah, we want everybody in this virtual reality. Okay, got you. Got the call out. The spiritual community, you know, none of these people have really known anything ever for all along anyway. I mean, when, you know, and I would say I follow that more than probably I would follow a religion, perhaps. But I mean, and religion, speaking of that, I guess I'm ready for the final call going out, the clarion call of going, okay, we are at a precipice of where there, and I'm going to go back to that splinter thing, or the particles of a million dust, because there's, I guess, I want some closure, and you know what, and I want the deletes to be blamed for a lot of things.
But what you're asking for is something on a group, all at once to happen for everyone. But guess what? You're just going through the same phases that unlike the Chandler and I have both gone through at different times.
Well,
so everyone's going to get the clarion call. Everyone's going to get the final thing, and that's when you're working your steps.
Well,
because there will be no one single moment.
And that is where I step in and go, I want the justification for the people. I already know that part. I mean, I know that, like, come on, if you do not see this and all of this stuff, I look at you and go, okay, I understand. But I think we, as a collective, have been so co-opted and so pushed down our throats to believe whatever somebody has made us and wanted us to believe. And I think for the first time, I'm saying I am happy where we are. I like the pace that we're going, because I think finally for the collective that I want the reality shift.
Justification.
I want the justification. And yes, I live in a big city and I see it, I feel it. It's amazing what you see, how people are dealing. You almost see how everybody's almost on the same like
loop
program, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I call it.
I mean, yeah, she left.
Yeah.
Loop program, exactly. And I see that and I'm like, wow, the loop program, it's, I don't know. I don't know. Other than I think there's a couple of my friends that I have lost over the years. And the separation came in 2020. And I think back and I look at that and I go, I wonder if they see, because I don't talk with them anymore. The one special one, her birthday's coming up. And literally we have gotten to the point where we just say, hey, happy birthday, and leave it at that. And I've been seeing stuff for so long that I'm frustrated, and I'm a little bit that and it's sad because I've had to like literally leave her behind. Oracle, I think you've said something about that. I know teacups, I'm sure in the same, and I mean teas in the same cup as same boat as I am. And I look at that and I go, do you see it yet? Do you see? Because
but that's the main key here, that I think the biggest message that is for you personally is to stop from anyone else's mind. This is all about you, no one else, you. And that will get you to that place where that frustration will start to dissipate a little bit.
But then that's,
well, there's also an additional part is when you're living at a different, when you're resonating at a different frequency, and you lower yourself down into what everybody's calling the 3D, the 4D, the 5D, whatever.
Yeah.
When you're at a different resonance from 3D, you can always step down into that 3D area and you see all that stuff. You see how people are not noticing, and so you're going down into that 3D and saying, don't you guys see this? Aren't you seeing what is happening? Haven't you seen the message? Those kind of things. That is part of going down and moving into that lower frequency when you're normally at a different frequency. And that's okay. I mean, that happens. Everybody moves around. Just because you're
Because they interact with people at different frequencies too.
We have to, yeah, we have to go to the grocery store, or we have to.
Yeah. So what you might, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Differently, that there's no traffic. Suddenly there's cars everywhere, but there's no people. That there's no line at the grocery store and no traffic. And there was one guy who was really happy, and literally everywhere you go, you feel the energy of the room change as you walk into it. And that's one of the parts that you'll notice as you work these processes. And you develop emotionally and spiritually.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yes, and I do go between frequencies daily,
Absolutely.
Except
But and
when
honestly, I think it helps me. I mean, when you give me some information, I have a very little time or want to go and look at the article that you read. I have no idea about the sphere. I haven't heard about, certain the things that you've talked about, and that's okay. But sometimes I need that other outlet, like Teacup, to realize that. And then it doesn't matter what they're doing. It doesn't matter what the people are doing. It doesn't matter if they get justification. It doesn't matter if they get retribution. It doesn't matter if they are finally called on the carpet.
Exactly. That's right. That's really right.
But for a lot of people, it is important that's what they're looking. It is the justification of what you're thinking. You're thinking it's got to be corrected sometime.
As soon as critical mass is met and enough people think that way, that's when it'll happen.
Yeah. And it'll be just natural for us, for certain people. For other people, it'll be like, what just happened? Wait,
Right. Right. And I guess because I go, okay, so would it be then, that could it be that I just go in and out of these realities, and I mean, like, when I'm home, I have no touch with what's going on.
Yeah, even conception of time is off.
Absolutely. I have no idea.
And you're in a really hard part because you can see beyond the veil, but you haven't done the emotional and spiritual work yet. And that's where the frustration comes in, because you could already function in these different realms, but you're being forced and screeched back into the harshness of the other people, the reality, because you haven't started your work yet. And it's only because you didn't know, and it's just time. It all happens when it's supposed to happen. But that's just a good way of looking at it, because you already see beyond the veil, you already exist there and have for a long time. So for you, it's almost like not even weird. Some of the more weird things going on that people cannot compute. For you, it's like, oh yeah, whatever. But that's a problem, because that means that you were so used to it already, you were forced to do the work. See?
Yeah.
So you got to put conscious effort into the work.
You also just might be that teacher that needs to be that one in between that says, I mean, it's making you crazy, let's say. I know this isn't about you, but it's making you kind of crazy, because you're like, I see this, but I also see these other things that are going on around, and these other, and you might be that bridge person that is here to bridge that gap between the
realms.
Between the worlds, between the what's called the blended, because those are the people that you're probably you don't know it, but your life mission, your soul mission might be that you are that person who is the bridge for that blended reality, the ones that are blended. And then you're like, but look at what you can be seeing over here. You're there and it's making you crazy, but look at what you could be, where you could go. You might be that bridge, that light that you put out so that people recognize it. And when they're searching, they're like, oh, I see a light. And what is that? So they're searching for getting out of subconsciously getting out of a blended reality, more into the higher timeline or whatever Oracle called it. You might just be that person. And because you are kind of set in that's what your mission is, you might just be missing the point that you are already there. You're just the person that is feeling the emotional tension that the people in the blended reality are feeling.
Boy, that is actually,
because we know that you're not 3D.
no, no,
So there's got to
but
be.
I think that is so well put.
Yeah.
That
Wow.
because I wear a couple of hats, that I need to understand that when I take this hat off or that hat on or this.
You're that bridge, that way. And
Yeah.
there are people on the earth that is their job. Just to be that energy, not to have to talk to everybody, but it's the energy that they sit with and other people search for. And when they search for it, it's there. You don't do anything, consciously do anything. You're subconsciously had decided that that's what you're going to give to humanity when you come into this lifetime.
Yep.
Yeah, no, we're all just we're all pausing,
The truth of that. Yeah.
sitting in the truth of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is honestly what people need to know that are listening. Those people that are listening need to know that you are absolutely unique in you. And it's very difficult to discern that when you're in your own life and things. But we really are such a unique item. It's like you're particles of a million dusts.
Yeah,
That's really what it is.
Almost like a spectrum. Oh, okay. I didn't know if you heard. Okay.
Yeah. So that is what people really need to know. It's your own, it's you. And you have a lot of different things going on. It's not just one thing. But you have a lot of different things going on that may be conscious and maybe subconscious. But there's a lot of things going on. And we just have to trust that we're okay. That we are going to move when we need to move in the directions that we need to move. Because it's not set in stone. Nothing is.
Great.
Yeah. I yeah, because but it also is hurtful for me sometimes.
Yeah, because you're probably an empath, and you're determined. Your determination coming into this life was so intense that it hurts feelings. But only the person you can only do what you can only be there. The other person searching is the one that needs to find, and they will. That's the whole point, is they will. It may take me longer than Oracle, or it may take Oracle. She might get there in 1 second, and I might take a few minutes. You know what I mean? And you might take, you may already been there. But it's an individual thing, and you can't control it, but you can be there, and that's what you have to do, is just be there. We're getting close to needing to wrap this one up before we go on to another one.
I have to stop after this one.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, because I was just gonna ask quickly, like, what do we think the events of the month are going to be? I mean, do we think that there's going to be an EMP or an EMF come down?
No, I don't.
You don't think so?
No,
I tend not to.
I think that
I tend.
I think there'll be major shifts and weird things happening, but I don't think that's what it's not that simple. I don't think it's
Okay, so you don't think that we are we're at an end of some part of some humanity?
Hmm. I mean,
Go Oracle.
Adler, what do you say to that?
I was going to say, yeah, I think we are at a termination point in that realm of energy, not as humanity.
Third reality.
And we're conditioned to be
shared reality.
scared.
Huh?
Yeah, we're conditioned to be we're so conditioned to we are conditioned to expect an EBS or whatever they called it.
I think when I say those things, I look out there and I'm like, I know they love Loosh. I know they thrive on Loosh. And I look at that and I go, it's the aftermath that to watch.
They're counting on.
Exactly, yes. But also the aftermath of how are these people gonna?
You guys, I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't? Can you hear us now?
I don't know. I'm losing you.
Okay. I guess what I was gonna say is it's just the aftermath that unfolds if they do some very awful event, and that is what I.
That's possibly because of your mission, and you hate to see anybody left behind. You hate to see that everybody doesn't get the same kind of, bag of cookies. You've always wanted to share. You always wanted to freely share with others. And that is what you're doing. And so in order for that to happen, and it might very well happen, but it hurts your feelings because you are so passionate about getting them bridged over. But the person has to decide.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, Oracle, you're finished for today. I think we're finished. I know.
Thank you.
I'm tired. Yeah. I can imagine what anybody else feels like. Yeah, so we will close this up for the day and
we'll pick it up some other time soon.
Yeah.
This was a pleasure, definitely.
It was really great that we all were able to time this up right.
Yeah. And before we think who knows what we're gonna see,
Yep.
Yeah.
And the important thing to remember is that no matter how chaotic it seems outside of your direct reality, just remember that it is not necessarily the truth. So take everything with emotional clarity before any decisions are made.
Absolutely. I absolutely. Yeah.
That is such a perfect point.
Yeah. And a good close, because in the end, it's like you've got to rely on what you've built.
Totally.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Teacup, for organizing it, and Oracle of Delta for having some time, because I know that you're really, really intensely busy. Well, both of you are. We all are. And when we're ready to
go a little bit more busy because she's working on a lot of things.
Who's that?
I said, I think Oracle's the most busy because she's working on a lot of different projects.
Yeah, she's on different planes.
Yeah. Well, as you too, but yeah.
Anyway, so we'll wrap it up here, and then hopefully we'll get together soon, and have some other topics and maybe clarify October.
I'd love that. Anytime, ladies.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll close here.
Okay.
Thank you so much for stopping in. And please, like and share our videos and subscribe to our channel, but also stay tuned because there's a lot more to come.